Hello, stamping friends. I am Lisa Fulford, your creative coach. And please take a moment and tell me where you are joining me from. I love to connect with all of you. And it's so wonderful that we can connect and chat from all over the world and just kind of grow that crafting community. And so, if this is your first time here, I want to welcome you and encourage you to subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss any future videos, and that if you like these projects that I'm going to present to you today for my Make It Monday, if you'd give me a thumbs up, that really helps me with growing my channel, and it encourages me that I am doing a pretty good job with what I'm presenting to you today. And so, without any further delays, we will get started with our projects for Make It Monday. And normally I do not do more than one project, but today I decided to do a card and a little treat holder. And it has a Ghirardelli in here. Now, I think it would fit a full-size one, but when I purchased them, I purchased the minis. And so it pops right in there. This pops under there. And that is the treat. And then here is the card. Open that up. It says, Happy Valentine's Day. My heart belongs to you. And so they're not hard to make. They're using the card is using the marbled Elegance, I guess it is, DSP. The inks that I'm going to use, I'm just going to use one, and it's a Melon Mambo. And I'm bringing in the Hearts of Elegance stamp and the dies. There are a couple dies that I'm using. I'm using this decorative punched out kind of die. And then I'm also using this little die here that has the stitching, I can't pick it up, the stitching around the outside of that. So those are the two that we're using, but we're using several of the stamps. Let's see. This Happy Valentine's Day, and the XO. Let's see, My Heart Belongs to You, and the Be Mine. And so that's what we're going to use. And then we're going to also utilize this ribbon to cover our seams, and this is the basic white frayed gross grain ribbon. And so we'll use that to do some decorating. And then, oh gosh, let's see. I have the bits and pieces here. Whoops. I had the pieces right and then I moved them. So we have a piece of basic white. It's the thick white, and it is 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And it's scored at 5 1/2 right here. So I'm going to fold this together. Right there. Try to get it lined up because for whatever reason, it keeps being off just a hair. My bone folder. Do this a couple times. It usually gives it a very crisp, there we go, crisp line there. And so then our next layer, let's see, that was the basic white, is the Marble Excellence DSP, and we're going to do the side that's the flowers. And this piece is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. And then we have a piece of Melon Mambo that is 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. our gold foil specialty paper. It is 2 5/8 by 2 3/8. And when we have another piece of that gorgeous marbled Elegance DSP, and this one is 3 1/2 by 2 1/4. Now this one here would be in portrait, and this one would be in landscape if they were directional, and neither one of mine are directional, so it just didn't matter. And then our ribbon. And then this was just a scrap piece of paper, and I went ahead and stamped "My Heart Belongs to You," but we're going to do something a little bit different, not going to just use it this way. And then of course we have the 2 little hearts that I've already die cut out that have the stitching around that. So we will get started. I think I'm going to do a little bit different. This here is just plain. And so I think I'm going to do a little stamping here around this card, just a little bit. And let's see. I'll bring in my Melon Mambo. I'll move that over and that one over. I'll leave this here, so if you want to take a screenshot, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm going to stamp off, and then stamp. Stamp off, and stamp. I'm just trying to give it a little bit of something else. And that should be enough. And I may not like it, but then again, I might. All right, so I did that. I want that to dry just a little bit. I'm gonna dry fit my card, so make certain everything's how I want it. And we'll see kind of what it'll look like. I'm gonna go ahead and put these pieces together, and then we'll do the others. Because I'm putting this on our specialty gold foil, I'm going to add, whoops, the Stampin' Seal Plus. Put 1, 2, and then I'm going to put some glue. But if I just do glue, it'll slip and slide around. I'll lay that down. That's not a very big border at all. There we go. And then the rest of it I could just do as glue because it's more of a papery back. And this is a small border also. All right, so when I said dry fitting, now that is all put together there. Put this down here at the bottom and bring that in. I think it'll be all right, but I need something right here in this little section here. So I'm gonna ink this up, stamp off, stamp off. All right. So we will add glue to the back of this. I like to do the corners and then do the edges. You don't need a lot of glue. Just enough. All right, so I'm going to bring it down here and line up my edges and my corners and the bottom. Yeah, that looks good. I don't see white hanging off the front. When I open it up, I don't see the other hanging off. Excellent. So now we want to do the ribbon. And it doesn't have to go all the way around. Oops. I'll grab some tape. Okay. This, come on, down. Trying to get the more frayed area on top. And you want it to come together in the center. Because we're going to add tape right there. And another piece right there. Then we're going to bring in dimensionals. Now, I learned from my mistake when I was making the first card. I want to go higher and I want to go lower. I put it right in the middle and then it made it a little bit offset. Like the center was higher because of the ribbon. All right, so I want to bring this in. It looks pretty good to me. There we go. And our first heart, I'm going to glue it down. That one there. And we want dimensionals for the back of this other one. Turn it just a bit like that. Now it's time to bring in our piece here and cut it out. And I'm not really following the letters, I'm just kind of zigzagging around. Like that. And I'm moving the paper, not the scissors. I may move the scissors just a little bit, but that's just as a comfort, not for... It's just easier to move your paper. There we go. So there's that. Now this piece here, I'll try to trim it close as I can. Using longer scissors usually is better, especially now that it's so small. Can hardly hang on to it. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so this one here, I'm going to put dimension or glue on one end, the dimensionals on the end where it says My Heart. I'm going to bring in my minis. Let's see if I think it'll fit. I'll put another one. Oops. Right beside it. A little bit of glue. Get that straight. Okay, now let's do the belongs to you. I'll add some more mini dimensionals on the back. I have a half one here. I'm going to put there. And this one here is overhanging. So I just chop that piece off. All right. I'll take all the backs off now. Our card. My heart belongs to you. And I'm going to open this up and use the Melon Mambo again. And it's Happy Valentine's Day. Doesn't look too bad. Then I'm going to use my paper again. I'm not going to put as many XOs. Put one full strength right under there. And that is our card. So here's one without any stamping, and here's one with a little bit of a background. Whoops. So you can decide which one you would like better. So if you would in the comments, tell me if you like it with the stamping behind it, if you like it just plain and simple. But like I said, here are basically the ingredients or the recipe for this card. So I will try to put that in the, remember to put it in the description below the video. I think I kind of like it with the little extra in the back. So, I mean, this is very simple and elegant, don't get me wrong, but I think I kind of like a little extra in the back. It's not too much because I did it lightly, but I think that's very pretty. So now then we're going to work on our tree thing here. And so I've got all my bits and pieces, but before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I want to cut straight across by the B. Trim that off. Maybe I shouldn't have done this, but I'm going to set them there so that maybe I don't lose them. This goes together pretty quickly too. Now I've done the scoring and everything, but I will show how you should do it. Just a couple more moments here. Whoops. There we go. So those are already done. All right, so to do this, I'm going to move this over here. Here is the one for it. We're using Pretty in Pink cardstock, and it is 2 3/4 by 7 3/8. Then we scored it at 3 inches, 3 1/2, and 6 3/4. And I'll go over that with you in a moment. And then we have a piece that is 2 3/8 by 5 3/4. And then at 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 3/4, 5, 5 1/4, and 5 1/2. Those are where you score that. And I'll go over that in a moment with you again. And then we have our Marbled Elegance, sorry. They are Marbled Elegance DSP. It's 2 5/8 by 2 7/8. And then this piece is a 1/2 inch by 2 5/8. Okay, so I'll bring in my paper trimmer. And I'll have it where you can see this top up here. Go ahead and open the arm of it. Okay, so this is 7 3/8 by 2 3/4. So when you put it in, you put the 7 3/8 at the top. You come over to the 3 inch and score. And you go to the 3 1/2 inch and score. Then you go to 6 3/4 down there and you score. And then that's what you have here, and then you just fold backwards on every one of those lines, and that's just, you know, finger like creased or whatever. Now this piece is 2 3/8 by 5 3/4. And then we're going to score it at 2 1/4 and 2 1/2. So I'll put this in at 2 1/4. Okay, score. Then we just slide it to 2 1/2 and score 2 3/4 and score. And you scoot it all the way down to the 5 inch and make certain you keep it up against the top. And so you do 5, 5 1/4, make certain it's pressed up, and then 5.5. Okay, so you get those few score lines there. Okay, there you go. And those right there, and then there's nothing on that end. All right, so this goes backwards on that very first one. So you're going to accordion fold. So it goes back, forward, whoops, and back. And it makes like a little M. Okay. And then this one here goes back. This one goes down. And this one goes back. So that you make another M. So mountain, valley, mountain. Okay. Like that. So this one here is mountain, valley, mountain. So you have an M here. You have an M there. And this is where it's going to glue together. It's right there. So we're going to take our glue. And we're going to use liquid glue. And we're going to add that in there. And then we're going to put the edges, pinch it down like that. And then give it a moment to hold. And we'll open this one up. And so this is my seam. And here's that little piece right there, that little cardstock edge in there. So this is your back. And I'm going to slide this. You want to center it, but then you want to slide it all the way down into that crease, into that where it comes together. So about like that. So here's the opening right here. And the other opening is pressed down into this crease. Now, I'm using a stapler, and it's just a regular stapler. And the last one I stapled down, and there's a rough edge, and I'm going to try to fix that. So I'm going to staple it the other way. But you don't want to go too far down, but you don't want to go too far up. You want to have a place for that to tuck under. So I'm going to go about 1/3 up. And then try to center. So I'm not going up very far. So that's about 1/3. But then now I'll cover that up with DSP. And then you won't see that. So we're going to add DSP to this front. So here's the front. So this will be the bottom. Here's the top. And then we'll open that up. You want it to go in a portrait because one direction is larger. It's not a complete square. Ooh, there. All right. I'm going to put this in here. Like that. All right. And we'll tuck it behind there. Like that. And you don't want it to be sticking up. So yeah, I can press it on down in there. Like that. And then I'm going to take this little piece. Just add a little bit of glue. And I'm going to put it going across here. And And using glue, you can kind of slide it into place. And I'm going to hold that so it'll adhere. And where that staples at. Guess you could put a piece on the back to cover that up. All right, so this piece I want to add dimensionals to give it some, raise it up. 1, 2, and 3. Whoops. I'm going to press them down before I take the backings off, or it comes with it. All right, so then I'm going to center this right in there, about like that. And we'll take my Be Mine. I'm going to add dimensionals on the end where the N and E is, and glue on the M and I. So I'm going to bring in my minis again. Then I'm going to add glue. Press those down. I'm going to add some glue here. I'm trying my best to stay on camera better. So I'll take this backing here off. This next one off. Oops. Nope. Oh, it can go over a little bit, but I don't want the dimensional to go over. There we go. It's not hanging out, so there we are. And then this B, we're just going to put glue on it. Go ahead and put it in this little holder thing because it's so small. I don't know if I could get it in there. And we're going to just add a little bit of glue to the back of it. Turn this over. Press that on there and let it adhere. Bring our little Ghirardelli in. Slide it in. Didn't glue that down. I didn't think I did. You could if you wanted. And then you have your little Ghirardelli in there. And you could you could stamp a little sentiment or something in there. Could do an XO and there you go. So the Marbled Elegance DSP and our Melon Mambo ink, a little bit of Pretty in Pink cardstock, and some thick basic white cardstock. So you can do a screenshot of that if you want. So like I said, if this is your first time joining me and you enjoyed my projects from my Make It Monday, if you would subscribe to my channel and give me a little bit of love with a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate that. It helps me to grow my channel and just to know that I'm doing a pretty good job for y'all. So let me know in the comments below if you like this one with the little extra on there, if you'd rather it be plain. and also where you're viewing from. So I hope you all enjoyed today's video and the projects that I have and found a little inspiration. And if you like what I shared, then please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, happy stamping. Bye-bye.